WNST.net. We are at Greenmount Station. Finally, I have returned to Hempstead, Carroll County. Give it up for Ryan Jensen. I'm going to let Luke introduce Ryan because Luke does the offensive.
Well, he can play guard. He has played guard, but starting center of the Baltimore Ravens, the 1-0 Baltimore Ravens, Mr. Ryan Jensen.
There you go. There you go.
That?
There you go. That's the way. That's what we bring him in. That's where we bring him in. Hey, man, you're starting. Good for you, man. We pull for you. Everybody. That's where we bring him in. That's where we bring him in. Hey, man, you're starting. Good for you, man. We pull for you. Everybody up here that came up tonight said, hey, Jensen came out last year, man. We're pulling. Big redheaded guy, curly. Yeah, we're pulling for him, man. And now you're starting. So we bring you out here week one. This is your price to pay.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's awesome to be back in here and see everybody around here.
Well, it's good to see you, too. You got additions to the family. You got the wife out. And, this is – life is good for Ryan Jensen right now. Better than it was a year ago, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's better, but yeah, it's, exciting time for us. Got a baby on the way and, end up, winning the starting job this year. So I'd say life's good. When
you say winning the starting job, there's something about competition, I think, that for fans, right? Like, we get our little sheets out and we see the depth chart and where they are. I think from a fan's perspective, everybody wants everything to be locked up. We sort of knew who the quarterback was, even though we didn't practice. We sort of knew Macklin would get all, the guys in the league. But, some of these preseason games and everything we see, we watch Hard Knocks all the time. And you laugh about that, but you really do live that. I mean, right? I mean, literally fighting day by day, injuries, this, that, all of that's like such a huge part of this that when you do get to the mountain, you do need guys like Luke and I to come out, get you crab cake at Greenmount Station and say, way to go, you're starting because you won the job. You had to battle for it. It's worth more when you battle for it, right?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely worth more. It's a greater feeling when you can go out there and prove that you belong and, you belong to be the starter. So it's a crazy journey so far, the 5 years that I've been here. So couldn't be happier, though. I
don't want to get too Dr. Melfi on it, but what has why are you starting now? In your own mind, size, speed, what have you gotten better at that's allowed you to win a job?
Yeah, I think, size and strength and growing and getting more mature in football and, becoming that pro and knowing the ins and outs of the offense and stuff like that is, sitting behind a couple, tenured veterans and learning how to, be a pro and I took that next step, and I think that's the biggest thing that's helped me. What's
been different, though, for you now? Like, I guess specifically something you look back on and you laugh at the old you that held you back to, that because you thought you wanted to be a star. Even everybody comes in and thinks I can play right now, but you now in your mind you probably look back and say, oh, now I know why I wasn't playing, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's just as a young player coming from a small Division II school, things are different in the league. You got to play with technique and you got to play with leverage and stuff like that. And learning how to play that way, coming from that level, being relatively young, coming in, 21 years old when I got drafted and stuff like that, and gaining that what they say man strength. So that was the biggest thing I think for me was getting up to speed in that sense.
Well, go ahead, Luke. Jump in.
Tell us what the summer was like for you. I mean, in the spring you were competing with John Urschel. Matt Skura was in that mix as well. We all find out, I think even guys on the team surprised when John decided to walk away from the game. But the one thing, and I remember I asked Harbaugh about this probably about two-thirds of the way through training camp. I mean, you were out there. You lived it. It was a different offensive line combination nearly every day. I mean, Ronnie was out. Marshall Yanda coming back from the shoulder surgery. They were working him back in slow. You guys lose Alex. Austin Howard comes in late. Everything about the line was different virtually every day except you were at center. So just tell us what that experience was like and how you think that's helped you as a player now preparing for the regular season.
Yeah, definitely. It helps a lot being able to play with, that different combination because, throughout the season, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get dinged and all of a sudden, there's a new guy playing to my left or to my right or, playing right tackle or left tackle, things like that happen. So being able to conform to how to communicate with all the guys on the line, that's definitely helped, going through training camp, having a different combination almost every day. It's been helpful in the communication aspect. Of how to do things like that.
How challenging is that, though? I mean, at one point, Jared Pugsley, who worked hard, but he's not on the roster, he was starting a preseason game even for you guys. I mean, that's how much flux there was for that O-line. So was there a moment where you looked over and didn't recognize someone even?
Billick said this week you guys were introducing each other to yourselves in the huddle.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it got a little crazy. All of a sudden, Skur is here, Pugs is here, then all of a sudden Skur is playing right guard, and somebody new left guard, and everybody's just kind of in and out, and it makes it a little tough to get that
continuity.
Exactly.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie. That's what I was looking for.
I went to a Division III school. Community college, baby.
Yeah, but along with that, though, is it teaches you how to play with everybody who's on that line. Everybody's played different. Exactly. Camaraderie. That's what I was looking for.
I went to a Division III school. Community college, baby.
And,
well, there's one
helps.
way to play, though, right? You're being taught, doesn't matter who's next to you. This is what your job is.
Exactly.
Alignment, assignment, technique. Mm-hmm. That's it, right? That's the game.
That's what it is. So being able to help, those guys and, them help me in the same token is been good.
Every time I see Hard Knocks, I watch it with my wife, and she's been around this for 15 years now, been out at practices and even out in Westminster and around the team enough to know players and know but the inside poker of what really goes on, and Marvin Lewis said this to me the first time. He's like, you call me a coach, but I'm really a teacher. And Luke was a teacher, too. A lot of people don't know. Luke taught young children. The teaching part of being a coach that you see on Hard Knocks, where they're taking the 5-year-ago version of you and saying, who's that slappy? Bring him in here. Division I, where you how to hit a sled. And you're like, where I was, we didn't have sleds, man. Or whatever it is. I would think every single little part of it, unless you went to Alabama or Michigan or like that, this would feel really, really big. All of it would be big, including, hey, there's Terrell Suggs. Try to get a chip on him, Try to figure out what's going to happen on him, and the veterans do come in with a little bit of gust. That's how the fights start and all that stuff. Come in with a little bit of gust. That's how the fights start and all that stuff. Because it is testosterone driven, but it's also no one wants to get embarrassed, right?
Exactly. You don't want to come in and get put on your back and stuff like that. So coming in and the coaches, teaching you how to hand placement and stuff like that. Foot,
WWE fan over here.
I love WWE.
He wants to see Jensen versus Smith claymation or something, I think,
Definitely.
But it is nice to go out and play against another team. Defense taking the ball away. You guys are going to eat up the third quarter running the ball, which you look like you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take that 16 more weeks, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's what we, as offensive linemen like. We, I think we ran 9 run plays in a row in the third quarter in that 18-play drive, and we were tired, but, it was great for, we ran off, I think, 12 minutes on the clock, and that's what we want to do. We want to go out there and pound the rock.
Yeah, Flacco joked after the game that it wasn't that much fun for him, but knowing offensive linemen, that's the dream game right there, where you get to run 40-plus times, and not just run it 40 times, but be productive and control the tempo the way you guys did, especially in the second half.
Exactly, and that's what we can do as an offense, if we're not going to be a high-flying, passing offense, but, pound the rock and
how do you think that's gone, first of all, from learning what he wanted to do and now applying it with the season having begun?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a learning experience, coming into OTA.
All right.
I haven't heard the cattle prod one, but
well, it's all in there. It's Marshall, But having that kind of guy there, I guess from a fan's perspective, we kind of take it for granted. And you're always unheralded when you're on the O-line, which is why we bring you out for your bows out here. Because, we run for 150 yards, but Cincinnati might have been missing last weekend.
yeah, I think Marshall he brings